Ic9 Encyclopedia Teenage Years. The teenage years under new management, guided by the forces of the universe. Your sacred council. Discover the secrets of the universe, which reveals an assembly or circle of 32 laws of universe and nature, or better said, the guiding forces of universe and nature, such as duality, time, change, attraction, cause and effect, order, place and function, and many more. We are all looking for change, struggling in so many ways and aspects of our life. We may have an advisor, a healthcare practitioner, a nutritionist, personal trainer, or even a lifestyle coach. But we don't have access to them all day long. So enter the circle of vital and aware living and meet the Sacred Council, your personal lifestyle and awareness coaching team, always ready to assist you in every moment and in any circumstance. We are like visitors in a foreign country without knowing the laws and how everything functions in that world. We know a lot about the things of the modern world, but know little about the basics of life. See how they assist us with every step we make and with every breath we take, and make them practical in your daily life in dealing with your real self, your soul, your mind and your thoughts, your body, words and communication, nutrition, fitness, your life partner, children, the teenage years, getting older, stress, weight, disease, emotions, business, destructive habits, preserving the planet, studying, and friendships. For more detailed information on each of the guiding forces, see the intro booklet. There are endless words that can be connected to any subject, and each subject can have many books because each subject can be approached from various perspectives or angles. Most important, however, is not to forget that all that is said or written is merely an opinion, a truth, and not the truth. Because the spoken and written word is part of the creative world created in opposites, constantly changing and bound to time, and there is always more that can be said or written about any subject. Regarding me and the Sacred Council members talking about any subject, know that this understanding applies to that information as well. The information is formed from their particular point of view and brought to you through the world of visionary and mystical fiction. Hopefully, it contributes to your life and assists you to experience life in a more conscious, mystical, and magical way. By hearing or reading this information, you will come to the conclusion that you know this already, and you do, because this is part of your universal and spiritual inheritance. And often, we just need one word or a sentence that inspires and motivates us to do things differently or to think about a certain subject from a different perspective. The guiding force of the Creator. Make God a reality in your life. In regards to the teenage years, know that this is a very special time as many physical changes are taking place inside and on the outside of the body. It could be looked at as a new birth, as so many changes are happening all at the same time. The parent and the teenager should be aware of this very important time in which the teenager is looking to establish their own identity, away from the identification with the parents. The problem the teenager is facing that by establishing their own identity, that they are still for many years dependent on the parents. When this fact and time is understood by both parties, the teenager doesn't need to forcefully break away and provoking the situation. Awareness, acceptance, and respect is being called for, and when this is done with love, things will turn out much easier. Children do not belong as a possession to you as parents, because they only come through you. They, just like you, came on their own. They have their individual life adventure and will depart alone. There is no power game needed on both sides. Overlook the physical body and difficulties and know that inside the essence is a soul, which is pure love. Keep loving each other from this level of awareness. Quote, you can listen to your ego or you can listen to your spirit. Ma Jaya Sati Bhagavati. End of quote. The guiding force of the universal teacher. Master or be mastered. In regards to the teenage years, teenagers are looking for different masters in their life other than you as parents. Do not take it personal and help them finding new masters, and maybe they will think about a spiritual master as well. Stay patient and remember that you once were in their shoes. In general, teenagers think that great injustice has been done to them, and you do not want to deal with them. Just learn to master patience, or the negative will master you. Quote, patience serves as a protection against wrongs, as clothes do against cold. For if you put on more clothes, as the cold increases, it will have no power to hurt you. So, in like manner, just grow in patience when you meet with great wrongs. Leonardo da Vinci. End of quote. The guiding force of the power of the mind. Know the tricks of your mind. In regards to the teenage years, know that these years are the years in which you slowly break away from your parents. You can make this practical by studying, so later you can get a job and make your own money. You do not need to rebel and prove that things can be done differently, or that you are differently. Wait, have patience, respect where you are, and do things differently when you have your own place. There is no need to play mind games with your parents and vice versa. Parents, because they themselves have been teenagers, should have a clear overview on this period in life and understand that children seek their own unique self. Stay practical and avoid getting emotional. Quote, the secret of living in peace with all people lays in the heart of understanding each one by its own individuality. Friedrich Ludwig Jahn. End of quote. The guiding force of the true disciple. Follow the master and the teachings. In regards to the teenage years, teenagers think that they have followed long enough the instructions of the parents, but realize that when you stop following their instructions, that you follow the instructions of others, in person or through the written word. You all think that life is about becoming a leader, but the path to do that is first to learn to follow, and you better keep on practicing it, because it will be the first requirement anywhere you step into. All instructions followed are mostly in regards to worldly matters, but what about following the instructions of a spiritual teacher and finding out about the real you? Quote, a miracle is nothing more or less than this. Anyone who has come into a knowledge of his true identity, of his oneness with all-pervading wisdom and power, this makes it possible for laws higher than the ordinary mind knows of to be revealed to him. Ralph Waldo Trine. End of quote. The guiding force of your inner hero. Be the hero of your own life adventure. In regards to the teenage years, the teenagers have so much to say about what others did and do wrong. You become rebellious and angry, which is just a waste of time and energy. you just stay in the victim business. Teenagers have to wait and prove that life can be different, and in the meantime, they better be quiet. Your chance will come, don't worry. Anger is destructive, and when you do not learn to control it, it will control you. Quote, anger is a momentary madness, so control your passion, or it will control you. Horace. End of quote. The guiding force of maturity and wisdom. Learn from the wise elders and nature. In regards to the teenage years, dealing with teenagers, it is a delicate matter, as most of them feel that they didn't receive enough, not enough love, attention and other things. They want to take it all in their own hands, but do not have the means yet. It is not their time. Assure them that this time will come sooner than they think, but that they can mature, being the best they can be in the situation they are now. We all think that we have rights to things in this world, a world in which we came without anything and will depart without anything. All is just a momentary gift. Quote, don't go around saying the world owes you a living. The world owes you nothing. It was here first. Mark Twain. End of quote. The guiding force of fantasy and magic. Live your life as a magical adventure. In regards to the teenage years, realize that you are facing the serious world and are confused about it. Don't be so eager to end up in a world where most adults even don't like to be. What do you do to keep the fun and magic going in life? Go for an expressive dance. Go for theater and art classes. Do something creative and fun. Quote, many secrets of art and nature are thought by the unlearned to be magical. Francis Bacon. End of quote. The guiding force of translating messages. Decipher the symbolic meaning of messages. In regards to the teenage years, realize that teenagers want to break out and away, but have to wait for so many years to come. Do you think that there is a connection why their skin is breaking out? Do you have compassion for them, who still have to wait for several years before they can establish themselves to be on their own? Are you going to accept them by trying to guide them, or is it going to be war? Think back at your teenage years and see how you would have wanted to be treated. When you are a teenager and going through a rough ride, do not forget to be respectful to those who support you until you can stand on your own feet. It is a time to slowly break away from your familiar environment, but there is no need to fight, as you cannot speed the time up. Quote, people who fight fire with fire usually end up with ashes. Abigail van Buren. End of quote. The guiding force of the energy of solids and earth. Feel connected and keep on experiencing new. In regards to the teenage years, it doesn't need to become a battle of power and control, because parents and the teenager need to be clear on their positions. The rules and regulations are in the hands of the parents, and the teenager, in return, has the power to follow them, has a room and board, and possibly much more. It is not so much a game of control, but rather of proper management. This model you can find on the streets, in each home, each business, and even in nature. In life, there are more things controlling you than you can control, and it is even better to leave the control out and rather assist yourself in all these frameworks in life. When you work somewhere, you would first of all behave differently. So why treating your parents with less respect? Secondly, when you want to become a manager in your life and not having the boss or manager sitting on your back, just be one step ahead of the game and have the things done before anybody can say anything to you. By this, you are more free, so practice this at home. Quote, laws control the lesser man, right conduct controls the greater one. Mark Twain. End of quote. In regards to feeling home, remember that none of you is from here where you are. Ground yourself through connecting with the earth and others, but you cannot plant yourself forever on this planet. The guiding force of the energy of liquids and water. Go with the flow and in moderation. In regards to the teenage years, as a teenager you are probably having a lot of sexual confusion. Watch out for the exploring too far out of the safety zone. Sex or intercourse is for the procreation of the species, but maybe there are already enough of them. And sexuality always ends up in addictions. You feel stuck in your position and would like to run away. Are you showing to be stubborn and it's only your way to be the way or nothing at all? Quote, how old is the sun? Sun is not temporary, not chronological. There is a terra celestial and the celestial. I am celestial, mon. I am here, there and everywhere. I live amongst men, so I must adjust myself. When I go to other planet, I must adjust myself there too, mon. Peter Tosh. End of quote. You feel you have lost the zest for life and have no taste for life. Your vitality and immune system is going down, and be careful to taste and try drugs, tobacco and alcohol. Learn to be moderate, adapt to the circumstances, and find different ways to play and have fun in your life, without harming yourself or others. Nourish your body with the best live fresh foods, and you will feel more alive and fresh. Quote, the man who makes everything that leads to happiness depends upon himself and not upon other men has adopted the very best plan for living happily. This is the man of moderation, the man of manly character and of wisdom. Plato. End of quote. The guiding force of the energy of heat and fire. Pace yourself in order to digest. In regards to the teenage years, teenagers are often angry, don't know where it comes from, but connect this to their life situation. They want to do certain things but cannot yet, and feel restricted. Oftentimes they feel like pushing and forcing and see the violent way as the solution. Quote, conflict cannot survive without your participation. Wayne Dyer. End of quote. Without realizing your anger is based on fear, you are unable at this moment to change your situation as you are still in your parents' home. Quote, the wise man in the storm prays to God, not for safety from danger, but deliverance from fear. Ralph Waldo Emerson. End of quote. Teenagers in general have little or no patience, for patience is for old people. They are anxious and restless, nothing exciting is going on, and most things are boring. They rush through things or drag things. Their healthy eating habits are way off. They don't care and just fill up and want to be left alone. Find ways to get your anger out in a natural way and make things easier for yourself, others, and your digestive system. Quote, "There is nothing wrong with anger, provided you use it constructively." Wayne Dyer. End of quote. The guiding force of the energy of gases and air. Embrace, endure, and love it all. In regards to the teenage years, realize that parents and teenagers both want to be loved, but do not love and care about themselves. You want to love, but are confused with the issue love. You are confused with trust issues. Nobody told you about the beauty and the beast in all. You rather show the fist than to embrace and welcome all. You are hard on yourself and others. Be careful to hurt your heart and that of others. You probably don't want to be touched by those nearest to you, but realize that you are out of touch with a lot of things. Find ways to open your heart and strengthen your endurance, for the teenage years are 7 years. Be thankful to be together and learn to love unconditionally, and when not, you will keep on running in love-hate relationships over and over again. Quote, "A family is a place where minds come in contact with one another. If these minds love one another, the home will be as beautiful as a flower garden. But if these minds get out of harmony with one another, it is like a storm that plays havoc." Buddha. End of quote. The guiding force of ether connected to audible sounds and verbal communication. Realize that everything you hear and say is just an opinion. In regards to the teenage years, either being the parent or the teenager, you don't want to listen and basically rebel. And you either don't want to say anything or you spit things out, not realizing that you are a pain in the neck to yourself and the other. When you do not speak in an appropriate tone of voice, others will have a hard time to cope with it. Plus, they will not be able to listen. Quote, "We often refuse to accept an idea merely because the tone of voice in which it has been expressed is unsympathetic to us." Friedrich Nietzsche. End of quote. Most of you don't know how to properly speak up for yourself and don't want to face certain things and want to break away or to break out. When you are frustrated, realize that it is your frustration and anger. Do not take it out on anybody. Find ways to learn to speak up for yourself in a proper way and be more kind. To find fault in others is easy, but to admit that the fault lays within you, that takes courage. Quote, "Sometimes I lay awake at night and ask, where have I gone wrong? Then a voice says to me, this is going to take more than one night." Charles M. Schulz. End of quote. The guiding force of ether, connected to the conditioned mind, associations, and non-audible communication. Stay aware of your limited and conditioned realities. In regards to the teenage years, know that rebelling at the teenage years is just another program in the reality of mind and matter. A program you either become slave of or you start taking charge of it. All your ways of looking at life are programmed within your mind and are a result of your entire past through which you conditioned these programs. They are your conditioned and limited way of experiencing life, and through which you judge yourself, others, and the world. Know, however, that you can reprogram anything, and know as well that there are endless new realities you haven't discovered yet. So you either stay with the old stuff or start working with something different. Quote, Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results. Albert Einstein, end of quote. The guiding force of ether, connected to the universal mind, higher virtues, and soul communication. Observe yourself. In regards to the teenage years, be careful breaking away from your parents, which in most cases you worshipped when you were young, and then falling into another way of worshipping other idols. You need to learn to accept first yourself. You might battle with the following. You might feel lost. You don't want to hold the hand of your parents anymore. You might feel lonely. You feel you don't belong here. You might feel abandoned. You feel nobody likes and loves you. You possibly feel disconnected. You are floating in between worlds. You don't want to accept how things are. You either don't care or you want to change the world. Find the connection to your spiritual self, but watch out not to become a fanatic. You need to learn things about this world and skills to later make your own living, and you need to build a strong foundation for your real self, the soul. In the meantime, learn as much as possible from those around you who have gone the road. There is always something to learn wherever you are. Quote, "The world can doubtless never be well known by theory. Practice is absolutely necessary. But surely it is of great use to a young man before he sets out for that country full of mazes, windings, and turnings, to have at least a general map of it, made by some experienced traveler." Lord Chesterfield. End of quote. The guiding force of duality. Accept and deal with the duality in everything and everybody. In regards to the teenage years, the teenager mostly feels torn apart, divided in two, and feeling going out of his or her mind. Learn to accept the duality and the two faces within yourself, others, and the world, for they are part and parcel in all. The new phase of your life will come sooner than you think, and don't forget, there will be two sides again. You want and want, but forget to give, for the time being. What would you rather be? In the position to receive a million or to be able to give a million to a good cause? Quote, "For it is in giving that we receive." St. Francis of Assisi. End of quote. The guiding force of time. Learn to live in the moment. In regards to the teenage years, the teenager in general doesn't want to spend time in the parents' home anymore. You don't want to spend time anymore where you are. Realize that you don't want to spend time just being with you. Be more by yourself and have the patience, because the time comes sooner than you think and getting on your own. Put yourself in the position of a parent and see how you would like to be treated by your children. Quote, We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. Will Durant. End of quote. The guiding force of change. Learn to go with the ever-changing adventure. In regards to the teenage years, realize that things will change at the right time and not 1 second earlier, no matter how you want or trying to push. Use your energy wisely. Make the best out where you are now and prepare yourself for the great transition to stand on your own feet. Quote, "Just like a monarch butterfly grows and leaves its beautiful chrysalis in preparation for its emerge into the world as an adult butterfly, we too go through a transformation process prior to our emergence into the world as a new being." Bianca Guerra. End of quote. The guiding force of cycles. Tune into the natural cycles of life. In regards to the teenage years, the teenager in general doesn't accept at all the stage and phase in the cycle of its life adventure. You want to be already in the future in a different phase of the cycle. Realize that the contentment in your future depends a great deal on how you are going through your teenage years. What you are today is part of your foundation for your future. Quote, "Clear thinking is attained by practice, and it is as well worth cultivating it to help us avoid falling into our own mind traps." Hector Espondo Dubbin. End of quote. The guiding force of balance. It is nature's duty to recreate balance. In regards to the teenage years, the teenager has a hard time to feel any balance in life. You do extreme things, but realize that extreme things that cause imbalance cause extreme measures to recreate balance again. Make it easier for yourself and the people around you. Realize that the experiences you are having now are your future tools to recreate balance in your life. Most of you would like to run away from any confrontation, but it is through these confrontations, when gone through with consciousness and understanding, that will give you the experience in order to deal with and balance your life better. Quote, "Storms make oaks take deeper root." George Herbert. End of quote. The guiding force of necessities. Simplicity is the key. In regards to the teenage years, the teenager mostly feels that his or her needs are not met. Realize to be content with the basic needs first: shelter, sleep, fresh water, clothes, fresh air, sunshine, and simple foods. When you financially stand on your own later in life, stay connected to the basic needs and know that wandering off into more and more will make you work more. Quote, "The beautiful rests on the foundations of necessity." Ralph Waldo Emerson. End of quote. The guiding force of wholeness. No need to go more into separation. In regards to the teenage years, there is no need for anybody to show that you are different. You're all different on the physical plane, but on the spiritual plane, you're all one. Stop looking at each other's differences and separating each other even more. Rather dwell on that what you have in common and where you can build on. It is easy to separate and destroy, but to unite and to be constructive takes courage. Probably everybody feels that there are so many parts and pieces missing in your life before you really can start living. But know that this is a trick of the mind, which is never satisfied with what there is or what it has. In each moment, we have all we need, and as long as we think that there is something missing, we will not be content already. This is the trick of your mind, and it will keep haunting you for the rest of your life. The only thing you have to find is your soul right within you. Quote, "Inside yourself or outside, you never have to change what you see, only the way you see it." Thaddeus Golas. End of quote. The guiding force of comprehension. There is always more than you can see or comprehend. In regards to the teenage years, stop even trying to pinpoint why these challenges are occurring, because there is more you don't see than you can see. Yes, it is seeking that individuality for the teenager, and yes, it has to do with hormonal and even social changes, but there is always more behind the curtain. Use all your energy to deal with each other during these challenging times, and there is nobody to blame. Quote, A man can fail many times, but he isn't a failure until he begins to blame somebody else. John Burroughs. End of quote. The guiding force of improvement and perfection. There is always room for improvement. In regards to the teenage years, realize that there are no perfect people and no perfect families. It is about how you adapt and improve yourself. Without accepting where and who we are, we don't have a platform or base to start with. Perfection on the physical plane is impossible, but know that there is always room you can improve on or in. Quote, "The beginning is the most important part of the work." Plato. End of quote. From a higher point of view, you all have a perfect book in which you cannot add or subtract, but you can learn to adapt. Not doing this is losing your life in the moment, because you are losing all your time by writing a new book and not knowing when it will show up. The guiding force of order, place and function. Everything is part of an order and has a function and place. In regards to the teenage years, realize that everybody has their place and roles to play in order to live together. There are rules and regulations everywhere in life, even in nature, and there is no bending of them. It will disturb the order. Maybe some negotiations can be made, but in general, the teenager needs to wait till later in life when standing on her or his own feet. Also, the feeling of being dependent will not change, because everybody is always dependent on something or somebody during the adventure of life. Concerning self-esteem, know that this doesn't need to be connected to anything other than you think you are worthy. In God's eyes, we are all equally important and worthy. Quote, "Self-worth comes from one thing, thinking that you are worthy." Wayne Dyer. End of quote. Realize that when you do not accept who you are right now, and when you do not accept where you are, that this is creating a platform for your future, where you again will complain and fight. The guiding force of cause and effect. Every action has not just one reaction, but causes a chain reaction and creates a reality you have to deal with. In regards to the teenage years, stop the fight and rebellion. Realize that your rebellion will become a reality later in your life, which you will have to deal with. Maybe you continue rebelling, have people or even your children rebelling against you. Realize how you would like to be treated. It takes courage to change your way of thinking and acting, and this counts for both parties. But realize that the old ways are not working, so why not trying something different? Quote, "Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth a stone, it shall return upon him." Proverb 26:27. End of quote. The guiding force of contraction and expansion. Quality or quantity? In regards to the teenage years, realize that both parties, parents and teenagers, feel restricted, imprisoned, and want to break out, each in their own situation. You feel restricted and you contract, and then you burst out in anger or try to run away. It is just accepting where you are for the moment and having patience, for it will still be some years before teenagers can run into the world as they would like. Start to appreciate each other and try to find compassion and joy back in your life. Quote, "Find a place inside where there is joy, and the joy will burn out the pain." Joseph Campbell. End of quote. The guiding force of repetition. Using the ability to repeat for the right reason and purpose. In regards to the teenage years, know that in these challenging times, You all can keep on repeating the same, or use this as an opportunity to break away and through destructive and unhealthy patterns. There is no need to agree or rebel. Just start repeating something different and more positive, without criticizing what you see and experience and without any expectations. Quote, "The longer we dwell on our misfortunes, the greater is their power to harm us." Voltaire. End of quote. The guiding force of reflections. All your experiences are a reflection from within yourself. In regards to the teenage years, realize that various behaviors of the teenager are still within you as parents, and realize that teenagers have a hard time with what they see in the mirror. They look as if everything is against them, and either parents or the teenager need to lay the weapons down. One will have to do it. One day they will understand that the reflections of both parents will always be a reflection within them. They will or not accept this fact, but that is not up to you as parents. One day you as parents accept that what you see in your children is also within you, and you need to make peace with that. The guiding force of rhythm and vibrations. Realize that what you are, you will attract or repel. In regards to the teenage years, do you realize that during the teenage years a lot of internal physical changes are taking place, which can be very confusing and calling up confusing behaviors? You start sensing and experience vibrations from within your body which are new to you. They are part of this stage in your life, but when nobody explains you these changes, that you are starting to discover you as a different person, different from your parents, and that your hormones are changing and you are looking for new experiences, it could end up in a lot of struggle. Often, heavy music vibrations and aggressive behavior are a result. When you have parents that recognize and accept these changes, they will be able to help you with these transitions and changes. Anger and violence do not work. Quote, "Neither prosperity nor empire nor heaven can be worth winning at the price of a virulent temper." George Santayana. End of quote. Realize that you attract that what you are. So you either attract easier times and situations or difficult ones. All of this is the sum total of all you ever thought, said and did, and possibly some changes are required on all levels, on how you think, speak, eat and do things. Start this process, or your children in the future will act the same as you are acting now. Change it now and you change the future. The guiding force of service. Learn to serve and care. In regards to the teenage years, you possibly feel you don't want to serve your parents, although they serve and still serve you with your shelter, clothes and food, but rather you rebel and make it difficult for them. Realize that you came on your own to the family you're in, and that you have an opportunity to serve them by helping out wherever you can, despite what you think about them, and despite of how you think that you need to be served. Care instead of rebellion and destruction. Quote, "What is my life if I am no longer useful to others?" Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. End of quote. The guiding force of individuality. There is no need for comparing and competing. In regards to the teenage years, do you have a hard time fitting in? Realize that you are totally individual and unique, and watch out for identifying with any person or group. Nobody is from this planet and cannot belong to it. You are all just passing through. In general, being a teenager You fight your parents because you most likely do not want to be like any of them. That is perfectly okay, for you are already different. But do not fall the trap by trying to image an idol you are maybe looking up to, and you wish you could be. Just be or become just you. Quote, every man has his own courage and is betrayed because he seeks in himself the courage of other persons. Ralph Waldo Emerson, end of quote.